Am I on? I don't understand how this works.
Hey, I just dragged you in. What's up?
Oh, hi. This is weird. Cool.
You never used Discord before?
Should I put my headphones on?
I don't hear an echo right now, so it's probably fine. It doesn't matter if they're on or not.
I know, but then I can't really hear you. My speaker on my laptop isn't that good.
Okay, then you should probably put on headphones if you can't hear me.
Can you hear me? Like,
Yep.
how is the... Okay.
Sounds perfect.
Cool.
Loud and clear.
Yay. Oh my god, it's so cool. I've never done this before.
What, just curious, why did you reach out? What was the inspiration?
Well, I have a friend, and he told me that I should, like, talk to you. Like, me and him wanted to basically, like, I wanted to do a YouTube channel where I talked about sex and immigration, which are two very taboo subjects, but it's, like, the two things that I'm very passionate about. And I've been passionate about them all my life. So I wanted to do, like, a channel about those two topics because
Okay.
they both impact my life and they basically are my life. And he was like, oh, Destiny, like, he debates everybody.
Gotcha.
Sorry. I've never really watched your stuff, to be honest. But I did watch, like, some of your debates with Lauren Southerns and Sargon.
Yeah.
And yeah, I took some notes on Sargon's debate,
Okay.
but I didn't really know much about them. I know a little bit about Sargon. I don't know anything about Lauren Southerns. But about your debate with him.
Gotcha. I guess, do you want to kind of, like, start by, I guess, just kind of describing who you are or where you're from, or... I saw a little bit on your YouTube channel, so I have a little idea, but...
Sure. I'm Chorijo, Honduras, and I was kind of raised a little differently than most people who live there. I was raised in a mountainous region, so I was away from the city area, lived off the land. My parents came to the U.S. before I did.
Okay.
So I didn't know I had, like, I don't know how to explain it. I grew up with my grandparents in the mountains, and I always thought they were my parents. So I didn't know my parents were in the U.S. My parents were eventually able to get TPS, which is temporary protected status. And that was as a result of a hurricane that hit our country called Hurricane Mitch.
Gotcha.
It's a kind of aid for them is basically they can work in the country and they have to renew it, I believe, every year. And that's what they were able to get. But they were here undocumented. And they were planning on coming undocumented immigrants do. They kind of just come here for the financial incentives, and then they go back to their country after they have enough money to build a home. But my grandmother was murdered, and news about that got back to my parents, and they realized it wasn't a safe place to raise me, so they thought, why don't we just stay here?
Just to clarify, because I'm curious, you said that they were able to get, you said TPS,
Yes.
and that kind of relief allowed them to live here, but they were still undocumented?
Yes.
How does that work? I'm just curious.
It's conditional status.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird. There are a lot of programs like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually what I'm under right now. I don't have TPS because I didn't fit the time limit needed to qualify for that. But eventually, what was passed was DACA, which is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, and it's what it sounds like. It's deportation relief for people who came as children.
Okay.
And that's what I was able to get, but that wasn't until way later.
Gotcha.
So. Yeah. My parents decided, okay, we're gonna get her over here. There was no legal way for them to do it, so they paid smugglers to do it. And that's kind of how my journey started. I came to the U.S. I crossed first, and then I was caught in Arizona, so I wasn't able to be smuggled in completely. I was eventually caught. And the authorities, I was 5 years old, around 5 to 6 years old around that time.
Mm-hmm.
So the police officers were like, they weren't police officers. officers, but the border patrol, like the people who caught me.
Sure. I think is that ICE, the Immigrations and Custom Enforcement. Is that what that is?
ICE is a little different. The people at the border are kind of they're just different agencies, but
Okay,
the
okay.
people who did catch to a police center, and from there they questioned us and the coyote, the people who were smuggling me, obviously had a story, and the story was that they were my parents, and just like a whole bunch of stuff. So they put me in a separate room and they interrogated me, and they're like, "Hey, those people your parents?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And they just walked out, but I'm just punished for it. Me a lot differently because they could kind of tell that I wasn't their child.
Sure.
So from there, they kind of questioned me further, and they asked me who my parents were. And my aunt, I had an aunt who taught me who my real parents were. Like she said, like, "Oh, this is the name of your real parents," and I didn't know what she meant by that, but I did, through memorization, I had their names down, so I was able to tell the authorities, and they tracked down my parents.
Okay.
That's yeah, they kept me like at the center where they kept like children they caught crossing the border. And one day a man came and he was my dad, and that's when I saw my dad for the first time. It's like a really crazy story, but yeah, I met my father for the first time, and that contacted him and saying like, "Oh, we think we found your daughter." And from there, obviously my parents had to go to court. So we went to court, and the judge had to decide what was to be done with me. So it wasn't like, it was a weird kind of court case because it wasn't, obviously I wasn't there to be charged with an offense because I was 5 years old. And according to the law, if a child is 12 years of age or younger, they can't be convicted of a criminal offense. Gotcha. Because, yeah, according to the law, you have to prove mens reas, which is basically you have to prove that the person knew that they were breaking the law. And when you're a kid, you really don't know what laws are. So I wasn't, the judge was basically trying to decide if they should deport me or if they should just allow me to stay. And basically the judge was like, "Well, you don't have anybody back home. And, your parents are in the U.S., so we'll let you stay with them." But the judge didn't rule anything on my legal status in the country. So I was put in kind of a purgatory. Gotcha. He didn't say anything on my legal status. It was basically like, "You're a kid, so we're going to treat you like a kid, and you can stay with your parents." But there was just nothing done about my legal status in the country. So I went to school and I lived in a house just like a regular kid.
Were you able to get like a social security number and everything, or?
Yeah, this is where like it gets even more complicated. Because I was raised like an American, so I was kind of taught that I was gonna be able to vote and do all this stuff. And then, flash forward, I was 18 years old in high school, and I had nothing. All my friends were like driving, and they were getting jobs, and they were gonna be voting for the first time. And I remember we were just kind of drinking. Okay, we weren't technically supposed to be drinking at 18, but you know how it is. We were at a party, okay? Yeah, but they were talking about who they were going to be voting for in 2012. And I was like, I can't vote, you guys. And it was kind of like I completely destroyed the mood. But it was just one of those things. It was really awkward. But everyone knew, and I was kind of very honest with my closest friends about it. And we were all AP kids, so we were advanced placement kids. So I was planning on going to like an Ivy League school, but it just didn't happen. And in 2012, DACA passed. So Obama passed deferred action, and that was like a big deal because conservatives were really pissed off because they thought it was amnesty, but it was really for kids like me that really didn't have a future. I didn't have it was hard when that thing passed. It was really hard because I was just in such disbelief that it even passed. I didn't think Obama was going to do anything. I really didn't. A lot of activists during that time period were very against Obama, and one of the activists who was like a really huge activist. I forgot her name, but she started calling him the deporter in chief because Obama had deported so many undocumented
Yeah, record
immigrants.
number. Yeah.
Yeah, a record number of them. So she called him the deporter in chief, and that made national headline news that he was the deporter in chief. So in a response to that, he passed DACA as a way of saying like, hey, look, I don't hate you guys. Yeah, and it was kind of, I had so many emotions when I first found out about it. When it came out, it was field day in middle school, something, June 2012 when it came out. And I was at my little field day. She was born here, so she's a citizen. So both my parents are undocumented. I'm undocumented. My two little sisters are citizens. So there's a huge divide in just like opportunity, because as you know, in New York, they now have free public education. So my sisters are gonna grow up with going to college for free, and I still, that option is only available and not for undocumented immigrants in New York. But I found out about that on that field day, and I was freaking out because I couldn't believe that something had passed and that I would work finally, and I would be able to, because the act itself applied directly to us, but it was a mess because the government hadn't even decided how this thing was going to be processed. They had no requirements for it except that it was for people like me. That was it. They had no, so we couldn't even apply for it. It was just like, oh, look, we passed. Now the government has to figure out what the requirements for it are going to be in the process and how much it's even going to cost to process it. And I was freaking out. And the whole summer, while other people were like enjoying their summer vacation, I was like really thinking about whether I should come out of the shadows, because it occurred to me that I had grown up my whole life American and I was invisible in the eyes of the law. Like I had no record in the US. And I remember thinking about it, and I was like, it's kind of cool. I don't have a record here.
Yeah, until you try to buy a house or apply for a job or do anything.
Yeah, I know. And it was kind of like, for me, I had to have a philosophical debate with myself about the cost of freedom and whether giving up some freedom was worth the stability that it would bring me under a government. Because the plan itself is very temporary and it doesn't guarantee you much. But I decided to take the risk. So I applied and was approved. And every 2 years, I have to renew it, and I have to pay like $495 to apply. And I get fingerprinted, I get my picture taken, and then I have to provide proof that, what I was doing basically this year.
Just kind of curious, as like a personal question, are you ever worried when you go back in to do that application that like ICE is going to be there and they like haul you off, or?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not really too worried, mainly because I can afford a lawyer. I think that's the big problem with it, is that it's very much a
pay-to-play
classism issue. Yeah, like deportation is very much a classism issue. Like if you can't afford a lawyer, you're in trouble. But if you can, you do stand a chance.
Sure.
Yeah, but ICE wouldn't... I'm not really worried about that unless they have like a reason to deport me. You have to give them a reason.
Gotcha.
So like a lot of the deportation is usually because of something. It's something minor, but it's something they can use against you. Like they caught you with weed.
Okay.
Or maybe you didn't finish filing your application in time. So there's like a couple weeks laxed where you didn't have any status. Like things like that. It seems minor, but if they can use something against you and you happen to be speaking out in public, they will come after you. But for me, it's like I feel like I'm a good person and I'm doing the right thing, and I don't think that my freedom of speech should be stopped just because ICE wants to threaten me. I really don't think that they're like that. It's kind of just like, well, we'll look into your record and see what we can find, but if there's nothing, then what can they do?
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot more interesting than my background, so.
I don't know. How new are you to this topic? I haven't seen anything. I don't know. I feel like the atheist community kind of talks about in a very broad kind of sense. They don't really get into the details.
Wait, am I part of the atheist community? Is that?
I don't know.
No, I'm not really.
I guess skeptic community. I
No,
don't know
please,
what
God,
you call
no,
it.
no, 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 no. I
Debate.
just do my kind of shit on YouTube. I'm not part of any of the skeptic community is fucking cancer. You're not gonna find any good discussions on immigration from that community. I don't think.
So you're more of a gamer.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like to use labels. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, the conversation about immigration is it's pretty difficult. A lot of people have a lot of different ideas, and most of it is founded in like fucking insanity. So I'm not really sure. Was there like I guess like what did you specifically want to talk about, or is there something you specifically want to talk about, or?
I didn't want to specifically talk about anything. It was kind of just I want to get these ideas out there.
Gotcha. What kind of what do you think is like insofar as like immigration goes, like what do you think is like some important information that most people don't know or don't understand? Or like what's a misconception? Like you hear somebody say something all the time, you're like, oh, this is so fucking stupid. Is there anything like that in regards to immigration or anything?
I mean, there's so many. There's so many. I really have to go into it and start researching this stuff a lot more because I'll go through like intervals where I guess I should tell you my history, I guess, besides the immigration stuff, is that obviously I grew up in kind of like a ghetto area. I grew up in Brentwood, New York, which is a very heavily populated area. And then I moved to a more of a white trash kind of suburban area in Mastic, New York. And now here I am in LA because I'm pursuing a career in pornography. But I've met so many people who are refugees, people who got citizenship one way or the other. So I feel like I do have a lot of history. And it's hard for me to discuss, I think, because a lot of it is stuff that, like, there's certain information I can't reveal. And it's not...
what do you mean by... What do you mean by that, can't reveal?
Well, like, put it this way. Let's say somebody works in the medical field and they're undocumented. They're undocumented, they work in the medical field, and in the medical field, they have HIPAA laws. So if you operate on someone who's famous, you're not allowed to tell who your patients are. So let's say that a citizen is being treated by an undocumented immigrant. I am not allowed to reveal that information because I could get that person fired. But if I did reveal that information, it would help dispel a lot of the myths about undocumented immigrants.
Gotcha. Okay.
You get what I mean? Like, a lot of this stuff is very sensitive because I could get people in trouble.
Yeah, talking about other people's documentation status. Yeah. Exactly.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like there's certain information I can't reveal, and it's also like, I'll give you another example. Let's say somebody from whatever country, Mexico or Canada, they're undocumented, but they got let's say they're lesbian. They got married to a straight person to get citizenship. Okay. And they got it. Like, I can't reveal that because then I could get them in trouble with authorities.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's so tied to the law. Like, I could really get people in trouble, but at the same time, I know if I told people these things, it would help destroy a lot of their ideas about immigration. And it's really hard for me because I have to be very selective on what information I give out.
Gotcha.
What were we talking about? I'm sorry.
No, I was just curious generally, like what your kind of goal was. You can talk about it as much as you're comfortable for your background. How old were you when you started to get into the pornography thing?
I just started this year. So I just got into it like a few months ago.
Gotcha.
So I've only been in the industry about 2 months.
Gotcha. And I don't know how all of this plays out in reality. Obviously, I don't have any. Well, I don't have that much experience, I guess, with undocumented people. Are you ever worried that somebody could use like your immigration status against you in like a coercive way, like working in that industry, or is it not like a big deal at all? Or
I mean, I actually was very anti social media until recently. I think in 2015 I started writing for Quora.
Okay.
And that's really where it started. I started writing, and then I started taking selfies, and then that led to nude selfies, led into porn.
Sure. That somebody might what I'm saying is that I was always controversial from the beginning. So even when I was just writing, people threatened to call ICE on me. Okay, and I was actually on a list
And here's the thing, I didn't have that many followers. I had like maybe 200 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Just from writing, you know, my opinions on feminism and my opinion on immigration. I got put into letters of, you know, I was put on a letter called Bad Hombres to call ICE on. And they've done it. They've filed these reports, they've screenshot them to me, and they've sent them to me. And to me, because I knew they weren't going to do anything. Because with DACA, if you don't know what that is, that gives me a temporary social security number. I have a social security number. I have a work authorization number. I have worked for Bose. I've worked for Oculus. I have worked for AT&T. What other? I worked for Book Brothers for briefly, but I've worked for. Porn isn't the only industry I've worked in. Like, this is very recent. For years, I've been working in very respectable careers.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And
well, are you implying that pornography is not a respectable career?
No.
Okay.
But I think that wouldn't a lot of people believe that it is?
Yeah, today probably, yeah.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, and there are undocumented immigrants who don't have social security numbers, but I do.
Sure.
It's just that it expires in 2 years, so I need to continually renew it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, so for me, I'm not really worried about being exploited into the industry. I do have an agent, and yeah, everything is very legitimate.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I don't feel that the industry is you're working for someone who isn't actually a company. Like, if you're going on Craigslist and answering ads about like guys who are like, oh, let me help you get in the industry, then yeah, you're probably going to be exploited. But if you're like working through a legitimate agency and you're being tested and you're only doing it with other people who are also being tested and you're on payroll, then you'll be completely fine.
Gotcha. Is it I don't know anything about like the inner workings of like the porn industry. Is it generally like a pretty, like, for instance, like when it comes to like acting or music, I hear a lot of like really bad things that a lot of the agents will sexually abuse or extort a lot of the talent and whatnot. Does that not happen in the porn industry at all? Is it a lot more secure, or?
Oh, it depends who you ask. I mean, I'm very new, so I can't give you much information, and that's why, oh man, I'm upset. The guy who recommended me to you was like, if you're going to talk about porn, make sure that I'm there so I could answer his questions. He's been in the industry a lot more than me, and he actually produces porn.
Gotcha.
I've only been in it 2 months. I really don't know that much.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
what I
okay.
can say is that agents do abuse their talent, but it really, some of them aren't licensed or bonded. And that could be a reason. I never have been. My agent's wonderful.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool.
A lot of agents have like model houses, so the girl will pay like a fee to live there, and then they'll get work. I don't live in a model house, but I used to. I lived for like the first month when I came out to LA, because I didn't really. Yeah, it's just basically you live there with other porn stars.
Yeah, no, we do the same thing in gaming. They're just gamer houses or streamer houses. It's literally the exact same thing. You share, you can get sponsored.
That's so cool.
Yeah, there's actually a ton of crossover, I think, between those two worlds, but people won't admit it. But yeah,
I wanted to do gaming, but then I gave away my Xbox One. Well, it's hard for me because I lived in a very, very strict Catholic household. My mother and father, they both believe that video games lead to violence. I'm not sure where they got this idea from, but they were so sold on it that even though I bought the Xbox One myself and I bought all the equipment I would need with it, they never let me play with it. Every time I played with it or bought like a new game, they would always complain, and then I would have to shut it off.
oh jeez.
So eventually I just gave it away, but it was sad because I bought this thing and it was so expensive, and I can't, you know how expensive it is when it first comes out. And I never really got to play with it, so it was sad.
Gotcha.
But I'm sure whoever has it is very happy because they got all my games along with it, and I had like 20 plus games.
Damn.
I know. So sad. I don't know if getting the Oculus would be worth it, which is weird because I was like literally working for that company.
What'd you do for Oculus?
I was a sales rep.
Okay.
It's so funny because I got fired from there.
What'd you get fired for?
I still have them. How fucked up is that? I have the oh my god. So in my Oculus uniform, I took nudes in them.
Okay.
So you just see my Oculus name tag and then my boobs.
Gotcha.
And I'm in a Best Buy.
Well,
I was really, I don't know how they found me. I really don't, because I didn't have my name attached to it and my location tracker was off. But I was very popular on Tumblr, and one guy at Best Buy found me, and then he worked in the back. He worked in the stock room.
mm-hmm.
And he told two, and then one guy was passing by and he worked in the stockroom too, and he overheard them mention the Oculus girl. And that's what I was known as in the company, as the Oculus girl.
Nice. That seems to be like really common. I noticed that there are like a lot of amateur porn stars that will like explode in popularity, or maybe not a lot, but I've seen it happen. And then all of a sudden they disappear off the internet forever, and everybody's really sad. And then you find out it's because the people in their real life started to find their videos and shit.
Yeah. So they found out, and these three guys talking about the Oculus girl and nudes. So then he's like, "Well, then I wanted to listen further, and I found out your Tumblr link, and then I followed you, and then everyone kind of just found out after that."
Nice.
One of the guys reached out to me on Twitter and basically told me that basically someone in the stockroom found out about me, and that's how it spread. Even the managers knew. And at first I was fine, like nobody told, but I guess somebody found out about it that really didn't like it.
Yeah, once that's out of the bag, everybody's gonna talk about it to everybody. So
yeah, it went to the Oculus management, and they fired me. So yeah. And then it's funny because somebody else reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, we have a new Oculus person and we gave them your link, dude." I was like, "Thanks." But like, I just, some of it is kind of my fault because I didn't stop once I found out that like everyone knew. I was kind of like, whatever.
mm-hmm.
It's not a big deal. And I did talk about it with like some of the people that worked at Best Buy. I met a girl who did the same thing too. Like she took nudes on Tumblr. Someone who she knew in real life sent her an ask, and basically she just deleted her whole Tumblr.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You probably lose a lot of girls that way.
Yeah, sure do. Sad days.
Because they're douchebags. Oh my god! Like I remember, I got like an ask one day from this guy and he's like, you're making us, you're making the guys at Windows and what was it, Magnolia, feel really uncomfortable. We don't know how to talk to you. And I was like, you just talked to me. Like what? I don't understand what the issue is. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, that's still a pretty rough world, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, what the freak? Okay, I have nudes on Tumblr. I don't know how to talk to you. You're making us feel weird. I don't know. Oh well. At least I got some stuff from Oculus. They let me keep them.
To keep what? The uniforms?
No, I do have the uniforms.
Okay.
Not gonna do anything with them anymore.
It's probably a good idea.
I have the touch controllers.
Oh,
which is so weird that they give you the touch controllers, but they don't give you the whatever. You know what's weird too? I wanted to buy like the Alien, the computer, but it doesn't really work well with the Oculus for some reason.
Oh, an Alienware computer?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know why. I asked them too, and they never explained it to me.
I don't know anything about Oculus or anything, so yeah.
It's yeah, anything else you wanna ask me? I don't know what to
I don't know. Do you want to take questions from chat? If I open it to chat, it's going to be nothing about immigration. It's going to be everything about your job as a porn star. So it's up to you.
Sure. Whatever. I've never. Oh, cool. Go. I want to see it.
Do what?
Open it up to chat. Is there a way I can see it? Would that be on YouTube? Or would that be on?
I have my own chat. Hold on one
Discord?
second.
Okay.
I'm sending. I'll DM you on Twitter. Hold on.
This is so cool. Sorry, I've never done like is this or is
Do
this
what?
something else? I don't know. What is this called?
So I stream on a platform called Twitch.tv. 99% of what goes on here is video games, but I'm very politically active, so I also use the platform for politics, and then most of the videos get uploaded to YouTube afterwards, which is probably where you saw my conversations with other people. Yeah. Oh, it's Lauren Southern, by the way, not Lauren Southerns. If that's.
Oh, what was it again?
Lauren Southern, not Lauren Southern.
Lauren Southerns?
Yeah. No, Lauren Southern, just one, no S at the end.
Lauren. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I literally don't know her.
Yeah, it's fine.
I tried watching her live stream and then I just kind of moved away. Whatever.
Yeah, depending on what you're watching, it can be pretty fucking hard. Or I would imagine it would be to stomach some of her content. Holy shit.
I don't know. I don't know. I grew up as like an American, so I've heard. I think it would be really hard for people to picture my experience because it's like if you're discriminatory toward African Americans, you can see someone's skin color.
Mm-hmm.
If you're discriminatory toward a woman, you can see that she's a woman, but you can't tell I'm undocumented.
Yeah. And that's that's the problem. The thing that bothers me the most is there's like a lot of dehumanization that goes on with undocumented people. Like typically when you talk about illegal aliens, like they're literally, to quote Trump, they're murderers, rapists, and thieves that come across the border just looking to kill people, and it's pretty disgusting. That the Lauren Southern girl is involved with what's it called, Save Europe or Defend Europe, I think, where what they try to do is they try to get boats and they try to stop rescue ships that are picking up. I guess sometimes when immigrants, when people try to escape countries, they come by ocean and sometimes their boats capsize and shit because obviously people that illegally immigrate aren't always doing it under the best conditions, and so they try to use their boats to stop those other boats from rescuing people. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I'd have to read about that.
I think
I'm more like.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, I'm more U.S. based.
Yeah,
although
sure.
I have met like some people in. It's so. I met this girl from Canada, and she's in the porn industry too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, thank you. It's like the first undocumented person, not the first, but I don't know, the first one that's like open about it, and it's great because she gets it.
Sure.
Yeah, and she's white, and she really. You wouldn't. No one would guess. No one would guess we're like undocumented.
All right. What do we have, chat? Do we have any good questions? Somebody's asking, do you have to do a face-to-face interview for the DACA, or is it all just like paperwork?
It's you basically have to. When we first did it, let me see. I'll go to the official website and like. Tell you what you have to do.
Sure. Is it ever like a face? Sorry, go ahead.
The first time you do it, it's like a really long process. I knew it. It's not as bad, but yeah, you have to fit certain requirements, and you have to submit proof that you came as a minor.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to submit proof that you stayed here and that you never left. You have to submit proof that you graduated from a school or you got a GED. You have to be able to identify who you are. And you have to go to the office. So they have like UCIS offices over the US. I had to go to one, and I had to be fingerprinted. I had to have my picture taken.
Gotcha.
But they do like it takes a couple months because they go through your record and they verify everything.
How long does she think she will stay in the industry? Do you have any like long-term plans? Are you planning on doing it for a long time, or?
I signed a contract for 3 years.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, and maybe you're not allowed to reveal, how old are you? Or are you not
23.
allowed? 23, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm actually curious now, just from what I know from like gaming contracts and shit. When you sign a contract up front like that, do you already agree to do like a certain number and type of scenes, or do you get paid in addition, like in the future for the type of scenes that you do, or do you already have it like picked out, or?
No, it's just you sign a contract with an agent, so it's basically that person represents you for the next 3 years. So
Gotcha.
yeah, it's basically like I could technically, if I wanted to quit the industry, I could do and be able to really how should I put it? To explain it, I think it's just that I wouldn't be able to do any. No, I'm on his website.
Gotcha. Your
Yeah.
might cut out a little bit there, but so basically, when you the quote unquote porn contract that you sign is really just an exclusivity contract with an agent. Is that kind of
Yes.
correct? Okay, I understand. So
Yes.
whatever scenes you're going, you could theoretically just not work, and it would be whatever, but you wouldn't be allowed to like film your own porn or go work for somebody else or whatever, right?
I could film my own porn. That's fine.
Oh, that's part of your contract or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's not part of my contract, but that's just you can do your amateur porn if
Oh,
you
okay,
want
okay.
to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's just that like if a big company were to want to book me, they would have to pay the agency fee.
Gotcha. Do you feel in terms of like what you're willing to do you feel like comfortable, or do you ever feel like so like I don't know, I haven't watched any of your stuff or anything, so like let's say for instance that you don't like to do anal at all, right? Do you feel like you would ever be pressured into that kind of a scene from an agent? Like say that's like a hard stop for you, but there's a lot of money on the deal. Do you ever feel like the agent would kind of push you into something that you weren't comfortable for, or do you feel really comfortable with your relationship and everything? Or is that like a
It's not
concern?
that much money.
Okay.
Yeah, and my agent basically said it would be better if I wait. Because I'm eventually going to go down that road, but it's like he said, it's better if you practice and we just wait because we don't want to give it all up away so fast. Like not a lot of people can do that. Sasha Grey did that. Like when she first came out, her first video was like a gangbang where she just did everything.
Yeah, I've kind of heard
The
that porn
most,
stars will open with kind of like very vanilla, softer stuff, and it kind of drives up hype when they finally do like a hardcore scene or shit like that or whatever.
yeah, leave something in the imagination. A lot of girls actually will start just doing lesbian scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously didn't do that. My first scene was boy girl.
Gotcha. Sasha Grey, is she still in it or is she out?
No, she's been out.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
She's been out for a while, but she's still very popular. It's the same thing with Mia Khalifa. She's been out for years, but civilians anyway are still like, I don't know, very obsessed.
Sure. Yeah. The really popular ones from from that era, the 2000s when people first started pirating shit. It's hard to tell who's still in or who's out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, actually you can go, there's a good website to keep track of that. It's called freeones.com. Really keeps track of like all the new girls, whether they're active or not. And it gives you links of all like the work they've done.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's why if you follow a lot of porn stars, they'll tell you to go on Free Ones and rate me 5 stars.
Nice.
I don't do that because it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm not really obsessed with like the views or the followers or the,
Do you ever have any incentives for viewership or anything? Like
5 stars. Yeah. I mean, that's how kind of the porn industry and YouTube is kind of run is on viewership. But I just really think that if you do good work, that people will follow. And I'm just not really obsessed with that.
Gotcha. So when you get paid, it's not like a and I don't know how much of your contract is NDA. I don't want you to get in trouble if you're like not supposed to talk about specifics or anything. So, but like are you do you just get like paid like for a scene? Like this is like an oral scene or a vagina scene or whatever, or like whatever. I don't know what you even refer to them as. But do you just get paid for like a straight scene, or do you also get paid like based on the views that the video gets, or how does that?
Actresses are treated like models. Even though we call ourselves porn actresses, like actresses are paid residuals from the movies that they make, but they had to fight for those rights because back in the day, actresses were considered prostitutes and they weren't given many rights until they unionized and they fought for more rights. Now they're celebrities and they're viewed very highly in society, and I think that's where porn needs to go eventually. Right now. Porn stars are treated like models, paid for the shoot, and the photographer and the company that took those stills or pictures of you or the video, they own it, and you just get paid that flat rate. So you just have to increase the demand of your work as
Oh,
a
okay.
model,
So that
and then
people
more
are, yeah.
companies will eventually hire you, and you'll get consistent work. And it's rough if you're not like a big name.
What?
I felt like it got a little dark.
Oh, no, that's okay. Kind of. Please ask her about her stance on prostitution.
My stance on prostitution. I mean, I'm very much for decriminalization.
Gotcha. I think that's kind of
Yes.
expected.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised by how many of them do. If you go on this site called the TLC, which is called the Luxury Companion, you'll find a lot of your favorite porn stars on there. I found that website. I was like, holy shit.
Oh,
But I asked
I
some
heard.
of my
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I asked a lot of the producers about it, and it's just kind of like normal. I met like one producer that knew the people who actually ran that website.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's like somebody in chat mentioned that earlier, that like there are some porn stars that kind of like take that route and then sell themselves as like high level like prostitutes. Is that like a fairly common thing?
Actually, yeah, it is. A lot of girls actually do that. That's like their marketing tool. They basically go into porn
Just to sell their
just to market
prostitution services?
themselves. Yeah, just to basically market themselves as like the porn star experience. So that's like why they go into porn in the first place. Is not to become porn stars, but is to be able to sell private services.
Gotcha.
But again, like I'm not gonna judge anybody who think it. I just don't understand why when you take the camera out of it, it's suddenly wrong.
Sure.
And I do think it's fucked up because it's a lot more dangerous. Because in the porn industry, everyone's like tested, and once you do that kind of stuff, it's it's up in the air.
Yeah. The most common argument that I hear against it, which I'm not sure how legitimate it is, I would have to go look up like test cases, but I hear some people say that the major problem with making prostitution legal or illegal is that if you make it legal, what you do is you increase the demand for it so much that people will start to bring in girls like from other countries and whatnot to work as like in brothels or whatever. I don't know if that would actually happen or not, but
That's already happening.
yeah.
Actually, when I came here, one of the places I was at was a brothel.
Sure. Yeah, and then that's
Yeah,
the
when
counter
they-
argument is that if you legalize it, kind of like
when
you were saying,
they-
people get tested and paperwork and shit.
They were no, like I did too, but I feel like again, like that's such an issue. But for me, it's hard because it's such it's something that like I have some experience in, so it's hard for me to sometimes talk about it, but other times it's not. But basically, when I came here, it was like I wasn't just sent with a guard who guide people to cross the border. I wasn't immediately given to that. It was basically I went from house to house to house, where basically these smuggling rings, people whose job it is to smuggle people across the border, that's an actual business. And I think that's something people don't understand. It's run like an actual business. Same thing with drugs and prostitution.
Yeah.
So the people at the top make up these organizations, and they actually have office workers that work for them, and then they hire somebody whose job it is to actually walk you through the border. And those people, if they're caught, the police ask who the leader of the company is, and they don't know, because that's the way they're hired. They are hired with as little information as possible, and they're given money, but they're not told who runs that organization, runs the organization. So for it, that's how those organizations are run, and that's why it's hard for me to like talk about it, because house to house. So I've actually been through a brothel, and that place that I was kept in was paid to keep me safe by that organization that my parents hired. Those people were paid to like, okay, we're going to be smuggling some of these people across the border. You can keep them for this amount of time, and then you have to transport them over to this house. So we'll slowly get them to cross over. So they're paid off. But I was there, and making it illegal doesn't actually decrease the demand. It just kind of goes underground, and it becomes a lot more dangerous.
Sure, kind of like drugs, maybe. They're the drug trade in the
Yeah.
United States, yeah.
Yeah, it's a business, and how do you kill demand is kind of what I want to know. Making it illegal seems to be everybody's default position on it. Like, let's just make it illegal, and then that'll kill people's desire to drink or
Yeah, but it
to
doesn't
get.
work for
Yeah, I
drugs,
don't
and it
know.
didn't work for alcohol, and yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really work at all. So I don't really know why people insist on that stance.
Sure, that's where something where I said I'd have to do the data because I feel like I've read before that in places where prostitution was legalized that the demand actually did increase for it, but I'm not entirely sure on that. I would have to go back and read it again. That's why I was kind of interested in it. But
Yeah,
all right.
but how do you
How do you?
measure interest? I'm
I
sorry,
don't know.
I'm just
Maybe
like,
probably I don't know. Maybe arrests for people smuggling people in or whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure what metric you'd use to track it. I'm sure you could track it to some extent. You know, sexual abuse reports filed by minors or something like that. All right. This is a porn question from IULZ Franker Zappa. What can you please ask her how long do the guys usually last? It's hard to tell since it's very heavily edited. How long does it take you to film like a, let's say you have like a standard boy girl scene, like how long does it take you to film this from start to finish?
it depends what company and what the goal is.
If it's like
I mean,
like just like is the most standard scene you can think of, or I don't know, or maybe everybody does it really differently. I'm not sure.
sure. Usually in the industry, what they do is they take stills before the shoot itself. So they'll take photographs of you, like, looking at the guy's dick and being like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's usually what they do beforehand. And then after that, you might go over like what you're trying to achieve. So like, okay, we want you to do X, Y, Z, and what do you think you should do at this part? Like kind of that kind of thing. And then you shoot it. Doing the actual sex itself is probably the fastest part of the whole thing.
Gotcha.
And yeah, but guys in like porn are really amazing. It does, you have to have certain skills to do it. One of the things you have to know how to do is how to come on demand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to be able to hold an erection for as long as you can. But
yeah.
again,
I think
the
when
girls
I
can. I said like I'm sorry. The girls are there, like they can blow you, if that helps.
Oh, the
so
fluffer
like
dicks or
help you
whatever?
get back up. No, we don't actually have fluffers. So.
Wait, isn't that what you just described? Or?
I mean, I don't know. Well, I mean, if I'm there as the talent and I'm like helping them.
Oh, you meant the actual
it's
talent
not, like,
itself, not.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Those are only a reality in like bigger porn companies.
Sure.
I haven't worked that much. I think I've only worked for like 6 or 7 companies, so it's not a lot. And I've only worked for like, I would say 2 big companies, and a lot in photography. They have their own thing because they've been here since the 90s.
Gotcha. I remember reading a lot, or not reading a lot, but some guy gave like a big explanation for like how to become like a male porn star, and it was pretty extreme. They were saying like you had to be able to sit on a couch and masturbate for like some ridiculous amount of time while still holding an erection the entire time, and like as soon as they told you to come, like within like 15-20 seconds you were supposed to be able to do it. It was like really extreme.
I don't think it's that extreme.
It's not that bad? Oh, okay.
I wouldn't say it's that extreme, but it is hard to be a male porn star, and a lot of them, from what I've been told by other porn talent, some of them do use drugs, others don't. Like they just kind of really like sex.
Oh, sure. Well, here you go. Here's a controversial question. Are you ready?
I'm scared.
Are you familiar with James Dean?
Yeah.
Like you know of him or whatever. Do you think that what do you think about who was it? Was Astoya the one that tweeted the rape accusation at him, or was it a different porn star? What are your thoughts on that? I'm curious.
Well, basically, I told my Tumblr followers like, "Hey guys, I'm going into," and with like immediately, I just got like people telling me, "Don't work with James Dean. Put him on your no list." And I did. I actually did meet him though. But I didn't actually talk to him. It was like when we were getting tested, I just kind of walked by him and I'm like, holy shit, he looks like an average dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting to see, but just based off what my followers told me, I expected someone sinister, and he just looked like an average dude. Like he just looked like an average day dude.
Well, that's a big selling point, I think, to all of his porn, right? Is that he looks like a kind of like the guy next door or whatever that's like moderately attractive, but not like super off or weird or different than any normal dude.
Yeah, I have asked around in the porn industry though, and a lot of people are divided on the issue. So yeah, a lot of people kind of like think that that I should, give him a chance because like, everyone deserves one kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't want to piss off my fans, obviously. I don't know Stoya. I never met her, but from what I've read, she's not the only one who accused him of that. Like a lot of other girls have said similar stuff. I wouldn't want to be put in a dangerous position. So I'm not in it. It's kind of weird for me. I don't have a position because I wasn't in the situation.
Gotcha, sure.
Yeah. I know it's like controversial. One thing one porn producer has said is that like he really lives off his image is really controversy because it's not just the Stoya rape thing. He said like there was also a story that he did something with a teen mom, or that he did a video with Lindsay Lohan, and that he just kind of he tries to mark controversial figure.
Weird. Okay, I'd never heard of that. I wasn't sure, but I guess I don't really follow male porn stars so much. So.
I don't think anybody does. It's so sad.
Were you like before you got into porn? Were you big? Did you watch a lot or?
Yeah. I actually, yeah. I was weird. I think I watched my first porn when I was like 8 years old. I was flipping through the channels and I saw this guy fucking this girl over an oven. Not an oven. It was like a stove, and I think it was anal. And that was the first porno I'd ever seen. And I was just flipping through the channels. I'm not sure what that was in the 90s that we had. That like you could flip through TV and catch stuff like that. I don't know.
It was probably softcore shit on the what was channel? Fuck, it was the one below HBO. Fuck, I should remember this. I was like 10 years old at one point. What the fuck is it called? It's not HBO. There was another one that you would go to at night for all the softcore porn. Cinemax, I think. Does that sound right? Yeah, it was Cinemax. That was the one.
I
yeah.
don't know.
The simulated sex. Oh god, it was so horrible. But it's all we had back then.
No, it was real. It was real porn.
Wait, it was actual real hardcore. Like you could see penetration.
Yes.
In America.
Yes, he was fucking her over the stove.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't think there was any channel where you could show actual penetration in the U.S. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I saw that and I was like mesmerized. Kept watching it. The next time that happened, it was two girls. There's two blonde girls, and they were under like it looked like the Brooklyn Bridge, and one girl was licking the other girl's pussy, and it was like under life rafting. And that was the second porno I'd ever seen. I was 8 years old. It was amazing. And then from there, it was all a blur. From there, everything's just a blur. I can't remember. It's just a blur of fucking. I don't know.
Gotcha.
That's how I was introduced.
Ask her how weird those shoplifter porn scenes are. Is he referring to a scene you did specifically, or?
I did two. I did one.
What is the shoplifter porn scene?
Basically, a girl gets caught shoplifting, and then she gets out of it by fucking him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was like one of the first scenes I did. Yeah.
Do you guys spend like when you got to do like kind of like the story oriented ones? Do you guys actually do like multiple takes for your lines and shit, or do they not give a fuck and you don't really care? Or? It's
kind of a little bit of both. It's kind of like we want you to get this line right, but we're porn and we're not that picky.
Gotcha. Have you ever worked with
It also
sorry, go ahead.
It depends who you work with too.
The is it Brazzers that do like the super fucking meme porns?
I don't know. Yeah.
I think Brazzers like literally went to one of their producers like went to 4chan and asked for like a bunch of meme ideas to put into a fucking video, and nobody actually believed it was him. But then they made was it the one with the Bane where the guy had like the Bane mask on his dick or whatever, and it was like the whole fucking.
Some of them do make memes.
Yeah,
some
it
of
was
them,
like an insane fucking like it was like it was like the memes per minute were insane on this fucking shit.
No, I know this porn producer that's like obsessed with memes, and he loves Reddit. He's
Gotcha.
in love with it.
Okay.
And he's always talking about, they've made a couple memes where there was like this itty bitty porn girl fucking like a really big porn girl, or another meme where it's a porno when they have lemons for breakfast or something like that.
Gotcha.
Because the producers didn't really have enough to make the scene as believable, and they just didn't give a fuck. So they just put lemons on all their breakfast trays, and they're like, pretend like this is what you're having for breakfast.
Sure.
And they just did dialogue, and they were just playing around with the lemon.
Gotcha. So here's a question. Because I did stalk your Twitter a little bit before we talked, and I saw one of your tweets, and I'm actually really curious about this. You mentioned that you have you've got like a birthmark or whatever, like on your butt, that the discoloration or whatever.
Oh my god.
We're getting real person. You're used to this, right? So actually, I'm really curious because this brings up like a really interesting thing. Do you think that there's a lot of pressure? I don't know your personal past if you've had like plastic surgery or not, but do you feel like a ton of pressure to like modify your body in ways that make it like, quote unquote aesthetically perfect? I don't know what like your vagina looks like or anything, but I know that like the labia trimming and all of that is like hardcore to get like the porn perfect pussy and shit. Do you feel like a ton of pressure to like move in that direction, or do you feel pretty comfortable? Or
Yes and no. I haven't had plastic surgery.
Mm-hmm.
I just had like facial treatments and treatments for my back to make it a little. It's basically just acne stuff.
Oh, sure.
That I have an issue with. She did one day, and to go to a go-see. My agent usually doesn't send me to go-sees for.
Wait, what is a go-see?
He sent me to. It's kind of like fashion when you go to a go-see and you meet the photographers and people who will be interested in hiring you, and they see you and they look through your portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Porn, you go meet the producer. You say hi, hey, and you tell them your measurements, and you take your clothes off, and they take a picture of you front, back, side, and then they determine if they want you to work for them, and that's a go-see.
Gotcha.
He didn't like my hair. Because back when I first started, it was my hair. Like I look like Esmeralda from that movie, Hunchback of Notre Dame or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Notre. Yeah. I have very long, curly, thick hair, but I cut it. So I cut it up to like my ears, so it's very boyish style.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happened, it became kind of an afro. He didn't like my hair, so I didn't get hired.
Gotcha.
And I was told by a lot of different people that would prevent me from getting work. So I actually did get it kind of straightened. Although my curls are coming back now. It's just not as curly as it used to be. But I do feel pressure. But a lot of people are saying that porn is now moving away from like the look to more of a bistro, the girls who serve your coffee kind of look.
Yeah.
Just an average girl.
As compared to like
that's
the
what
80s or 90s
toward.
where everybody was blonde, everybody had the double Ds, and you had like the huge long fingernails. Like there was a very, very specific way to look. That seems to have chilled out a lot. I think amateur porn moved those looks in a really different direction, I think.
Yeah, so now that's the kind of the average porn girl look is the bistretta. Someone who could like be serving you coffee.
Sure. The two big things that I see now that are really awkward for a lot of women are having the perfect like pornographic pussy, and then having like the 100% even breasts, right? So that everything is like perfectly symmetrical. Whatever seems to be like the big kind of pressure thing today that it seems like a lot of people still push towards.
Yeah, I think that it's gone down a lot where now they natural look because once you get plastic surgery in that area, they start to market you more as a MILF.
Oh, gotcha, because there's a look or whatever.
Yeah, because then they, I really don't know about like that side of, getting your boobs done.
Mm-hmm.
But from what the producers have told me is that like it begins to look really fake, and then from there, it looks more MILFy.
Gotcha, sure.
As opposed to like having very tiny boobs that are perky. You can play off a teen. I mean, I don't really know that struggle.
Do you Oh fuck! I had a question. I totally just lost it. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Okay.
Fuck. Oh, I was gonna say, do you like a lot of like teen scenes or whatever? Then that seems like the only you're either like a teen or you're like a MILF. Like even if you're like 26, you're doing like teen scenes or whatever. It seems on some of the pornographies.
It depends. I mean, I know this girl. Oh, she's actually moved now. She quit porn and is doing YouTube. Veronica Vane.
Okay.
She's my age. She's my age, and what she has said about the industry is that she was marketed more as a MILF. But my experience is the opposite. I'm marketed as a teen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not at all. But it just really depends on how you look, and also like, how should I say it? I guess Vane entered as like the Wall Street porn star.
What does that mean?
That was she worked in Wall Street and she was taking nudes online and she made headline news.
She worked in what? Wait, so she's your age or younger now, and she was already working at Wall Street. Doing what?
I don't remember, but that's she made headline news for that, and that could be a big reason why she was marketed as a MILF in porn, because she was a career woman.
Gotcha.
Whereas someone like me, I was working at a Best Buy. I can kind of be marketed as like a teen.
Did you ever see the I don't remember that teen mom girl, the one that came out and did the porn video or whatever? I think actually was that with James Dean? Was that specifically what you were referring to?
Yes.
It was with James Dean? Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's why like one of the producers that we're kind of friends, but he told me that he really just thrives on controversy.
Dash off in 3, 2, 1, dash off.
It seems like his porn is pretty, not softcore, but like it seems like they always try to be like pretty, like, I don't know, as lady friendly as you can be as a fucking porn star.
Oh my god, it's so fucked up. One of the girls at the model house worked with him, and I like, because she found out that he's on my no list, and she's like, you should give him a chance. So she went and worked with him, and she's like, to be honest, he was kind of small. I think you should go for it because he's easy. I was like, okay.
What do you mean by small?
But that's what
like a small person, like a small dick, or?
Yeah.
Wait, you had a which one?
A small dick.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, she said that, like, yeah, you just, well,
does small dick mean like, does that mean like 7 inches to you guys, or does that mean like 4 or 5, or what?
I have no idea. I don't really measure dicks, so I wouldn't know.
Girl, that's like one thing. This is just like a personal thing. Is that girls are like really fucking bad at guesstimating dick sizes. I've noticed that like if you talk to a girl who had a boyfriend or an ex or whatever, she's like, oh yeah, he was really good in bed, and he had a huge dick. It was like they always say like 8 or 9 inches long, even though it's like there's no fucking way. It's like
that's why I didn't guess.
Sure. Well, but you also didn't do a scene with him, so you don't know. It might actually be really small.
I mean, I just don't. I don't really know dick sizes.
Sure.
Yeah, like I can't even tell if a guy is circumcised or not.
Well, I mean, technically you can't if they're like erect. They've got to pull back, right?
I have no idea. They're all dicks to me.
Okay. Do you do like lesbian scenes, or is that like a hard no for you? Is that really gross, or?
I've done a lesbian scene.
Are there any lesbian scenes where any of them actually orgasm?
I don't know. I don't know. They made me do weird things on there that I've done before. Because when I was younger, I used to have like all my friends and me used to have sex.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a virgin until I was 18, but I had sex with a lot of my girlfriends.
Gotcha.
But it just, when I did the first lesbian scene in porn, it was the first and only lesbian scene I did in porn. They made me do this thing called a scissor, and I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, that did. Yeah, I really don't like lesbian porn.
Weird.
I like lesbian. I like the thought of it, but like a lot of it just seems really stupid. There's no possible way. Can women actually get off on that shit? It just looks like it would be kind of uncomfortable.
It was weird. I mean, I like girls, but it's weird.
Sure.
The way they make you do it. But I do remember, like, when I was first, having sex with my first girl, and I think I was, like, 10 or 9 or something. And
Jesus Christ.
What?
I don't think I'd be...
it was very innocent, okay?
Yeah.
It was very innocent. I have good memories from that time period.
Sure. I mean, that sounds like it.
I don't know. I think people like sexualize sex too much. It's cute.
Yeah. I mean, it's also sex. That's probably why it gets sexualized a lot.
Okay, that's true.
Ask her if there's any awkwardness before or after a scene when talking with the guys / people involved in the production. Do you like when you like if you're like banging someone and you're done, you just get up and walk and everybody's like cool, or does like do all the camera people have like boners and shit, or?
Depends on the girl and the guys and just everyone. It's the way you conduct business, I guess. From what I hear, there's a lot of girls in the industry who are really good at faking it. So, like, they won't talk to you. But once the camera's on, they'll like go just batshit crazy, and then at the end of the scene, they just won't talk to you again, and that's it. It's just very business for them. And then there are other girls that they'll fuck you before the scene, they'll fuck you during the scene, they'll take your number and they'll fuck you after.
You're talking mainly about the talent, though, right? Not like people working on set, right?
Yeah, like, you know, I've heard stories of like some girl. I'm just not even gonna mention names. But
Yeah.
There's this girl I know that basically, like, if she arrives on set, it's like everyone's getting fucked today. The directors are getting fucked. The camera guys are getting fucked. The girl doing her makeup is getting fucked. Everyone's getting fucked.
Gotcha.
I'm not that extreme, but. I can't see any of the questions. Am I supposed to? Or
wait, did you get a link to my chat on Twitter?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So if you click that, it doesn't bring up.
I think it's because I'm on desktop. Maybe it's just different.
Well, it should. If you click the link, it should just load the chat. You see the black background in the scrolling chat.
Okay.
Does it work?
I'm looking. Oh, there it is. Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hide the memes. What does that mean?
It means now they know you're in there.
No. Wow.
All right, so like, are straight girls really uncomfortable during their lesbian shoots? Is it like really awkward for them, or?
Some people are better at faking it than others. Some people like really enjoy it. It just depends on how they, I don't know, go about their sexual business.
Gotcha. Can her sister help with her status? Oh yeah, isn't there some way for your siblings or anybody to help you like with your legalized status? Can't they sponsor you as a?
They have to be 21.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Is that something that you're looking forward to? That when she turns 21, she can help you with that, or?
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she's 15. That's the oldest too. The other one's like 9. So.
Are you still? Are you Catholic now, or?
I'm an atheist.
Gotcha.
Are there any women or men you want to work with in the industry? I wanted to work with Honey Gold. August Ames. She's actually with the same agent I am.
When you say like you want to work with somebody, is it because they're really good performers, or is it because they look attractive, or you just think they're cool people, or?
Just because they look attractive. I wanted to work with Bella Danger as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I do pay taxes. Yes, thank you for asking.
Do you know who? Do you know Jessica Drake?
Jessica Drake. She sounds familiar.
She's my favorite porn star. Okay, if you can ever get her on my show, I'll love you.
Oh my god, I know her. Yeah. She's the woman who's like really. I follow her for her activism.
Oh, I didn't even know she was into that. Damn, it's like an even easier connection.
Yeah, she's trying to like educate people more on sex work and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Do you have like do you get a lot of that? Do you see the way that people talk about it or anything?
About sex?
Yeah, about sex work, about porn stars and shit.
Yeah, actually it's kind of funny because I used to be SWERF.
SWERF, what does that mean?
Sex worker exclusionary feminist.
Sex worker exclusionary feminist. Does that mean you were a feminist that didn't like sex workers?
Yes.
Why is that?
That was for like a year, and that was I don't know, due to like a lot of the horrible stuff that happened in the industry, and also like the trauma I faced as a kid, just seeing like a lot of fucked up stuff, and it was really due because of trauma, and yeah, it was not a good time.
Gotcha. That was always one of the things that I get really irritated about. Is like a lot of people online will shit talk a ton of like how porn work is like really stupid and it's degrading and blah blah blah. But then like every night they go and they fucking masturbate to porn and shit. It always seemed really stupid to me.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. I don't know. But yeah, that still exists. There's like a huge part of the feminist community that is very anti-sex worker.
Yeah. It seems like for feminism, that's a really difficult, there's a very difficult position to walk between women have the freedom to do what they want versus like when you do pornography, or if you're like acting as a sexy woman, are you like a sexualized object, or you're just a woman who is, you know, engaging in whatever she wants to do? Like, it's like a really difficult thing that I notice a lot of people have issues grappling. Like, it's really complicated, you know? I
mean, it's hard because a lot of like, the people who are against this tend to go after the woman. They don't go after like gay porn. Sure. They don't go after like the men who do this.
Sure.
Because for them, it's even then like they're very they have like very sexist stereotypes. So for them, it's like, oh, of course men want to be in this industry. It benefits them, or like of course they want to be in this industry. But like I guess for a woman, it's like weird.
Sure. If your sister wanted to get into porn, would you... oh, I'm sorry. I say sure a lot. That's like my... I just have a habit of doing that. I'm not trying to be dismissive. Sorry. I need to stop.
It's okay.
If your sister wanted to get into porn, would you be supportive of that, or do you think it's not good, or...
My sister?
Yeah.
I don't really know. I think it's weird once you talk about like family doing this kind of stuff, because it's kind of like... I don't know. Would you ever talk about something sexual about your family members? It's just kind of weird. Although I will say that like my mother knows what I do. Well, actually my whole family does. They found out already.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Yeah, and my mom already like, oh, it was terrible. My mother actually followed me on Snapchat back when like I would just post
your
news
pornographic.
On it.
Yeah, okay, nice.
Yeah, it was pornographic, and she's very Catholic.
Interesting.
But it's kind of like for her, she would rather know what I'm doing. She followed my Twitter too.
Nice.
That is awkward. Yeah, it's awkward. She's very against what I'm doing, but for her, it's like she wants to know what she cares. Yeah, but she doesn't follow me anymore. But it's like at least now she knows what I'm doing. I wouldn't have a problem if my sister decided to do this.
Yeah. Okay.
I doubt she would, though.
Is there any legendary porn star or somebody that you like really looked up to? Like when you were getting into it, you're like, oh god, like I really like, you know, this ex porn star, whatever, is like a big deal, like an inspiration or whatever. Did you ever have any of those kinds of feelings or no?
Not really. I don't know. I really didn't follow porn stars until like recently.
Gotcha.
Although I did like follow a lot of Sasha Grey's work, like even after she left the porn industry, I followed a lot of her like creative pursuits into like photography and stuff.
Okay.
I mean, they're asking some really great questions.
Yeah, some of them will be.
Destiny, ask her what process is for picking a porn name.
Is this your porn name or is this your real name? Your Twitter name?
It's my porn name.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
How did you pick it? Do you get to personally? Does your agent pick it, or?
Well, Maya is like Honduras was part of the Mayan Empire, so that's how I picked Maya. And Morena is it means dark skinned girl in Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was called Morenita growing up, which means like little
brown girl.
Yeah, little brown girl.
What's your favorite anime?
My favorite? Oh man, why would you ask me that?
I don't know. Someone in chat is asking.
Fuck, I don't know. I haven't watched anime in a long time, but I used to watch Ouran High School Host Club. I watched Death Note, Higurashi, Fairy Tail. Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh. I read the manga too for that one. The manga was a lot more fucked up.
For what? Inuyasha?
For Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, for Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay.
What other ones? I watched Sakura. No, I didn't watch. Actually, I didn't watch that one. I read the manga for that one. That was for like Sakura, the card captor.
Yeah. Do you how many languages do you speak? Can you speak? What do they speak in Honduras? I actually don't know at all.
Spanish.
Spanish. What can you speak Spanish fluently? I'm guessing you can.
No.
No, you can't.
No, I came here when I was 6, and then I just
You
I
didn't
really
learn to
wanted
talk
to learn.
until you were 6 years old.
Well, because hold on.
Yeah, no problem.
The thing is that I came here and I wanted to the culture, so I learned English and I just stopped practicing Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Give me 1 second, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. Holy shit. Do you guys hear that? That's James Dean. He's breaking in.
Yeah. So much going on.
Is James Dean trying to break into your house?
Okay, I'm back.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. Okay, a lot of stuff.
Are you guys like moving in new talent?
No, I just have a friend over. There's like a party right now it's called Urban X. It's for like the minorities in the industry, so like a lot of the colored girls and boys are going to be there. They're having an award thing.
Gotcha. Do you here's a question. In terms of like how does dating work for you? Can you only date in industry or do you try to date out of industry? What happens when they find out who you are? Are you single? Like how does that work?
Well, I've never really had a boyfriend.
Okay.
I never really dated. I wasn't allowed to in high school because my mother was very against it. So, I don't know. Dating hasn't really been something that I'm like...
Gotcha.
I'm too young. So basically, once in a while, I'll fuck a fan, and that's kind of my life. I don't really date.
Oh shit! You can make one of those awkward fucking fuck a fan videos, dude. I've seen a couple of those.
No, I've never heard of that.
Really? I'm pretty sure they're fake, but no, actually no, because one was on because I think on Pornhub some of the girls like manage their own channels. I don't think some of them I don't think use agents, and in one of those ones I'm pretty sure she did that fuck a fan one. It was really awkward. I wish I could remember the name. I don't remember the name.
I want you to know I'm flashing you all right now. I can't because Destiny says he doesn't do videos.
Sorry.
I'm joking.
I figure if I want to see a video, I should be able to find it pretty easily, right?
No, I think you'd be shut down from YouTube.
Oh, Twitch. Well, yeah, obviously I can't stream it. Yeah.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah, no boobs on Twitch. Or not female boobs, at least.
Wow, these people talk fast.
Yeah.
Big Butt 69. Oh, dude, that is a great username. Oh, wow, no boobs on Twitch. I'm upset. I've never even used Twitch.
Yeah, well, it's just video game stuff usually. Is there like do people that do like the more hardcore fetishy scenes, do they get paid like a lot of money or not usually, or?
I've done like foot fetish stuff with stockings and stuff, and no, it hasn't paid more.
I mean like hardcore shit, like scat or something like the stuff that would be really.
Not really. I mean, kink doesn't pay that. I wouldn't say they don't pay that much. They pay like regular industry standards.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's not. I always wondered that. I guess like, oh, that's really mean. Never mind. Okay.
What? No. What did they say? Tell me.
What? This is really mean. I don't mean it this way, but like I guess it makes sense that they pay industry standards because all of the people that do like the hardcore, like the very hardcore scenes, look a little bit sub what you would expect from porn people. Do you understand what I'm getting at? No? Do you understand?
That I'm not like up there in the porn
No,
industry?
not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm saying that, or maybe you. I don't know. I haven't watched your videos yet. Damn, I can't judge. I don't know. It's possible. I don't know, dude. Maybe I would give you a 5. I'm not sure. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm talking about like when you look at the really, if you go into like the really, I don't fucking know. I don't watch that much like hardcore, like crazy out there shit. But like if you find like the guys, I remember that like, fuck, I don't even know the names of a lot of these. But if you go and you look up like really hardcore fetishy stuff, the people are always like really, like the guys will be older and like overweight and like kind of like weird dicks and shit. As opposed to like if you're like in the very vanilla realm, like everybody is like very like make-upped and looks, you know, like all 8s and 9s and like very normal kind of stuff. Does that make sense?
I guess so, but it could also be that it's more of a, it's not really like a big industry, like a big industry company.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so like if they were actually paying like a fuck ton of money for those kink scenes, they would probably find people from like normal porn to go and do them if they were offering like, yeah, like the huge money for it.
I think I heard like some comments saying I sound like Mila Kunis.
Oh, I heard that, and people were saying Selena Gomez as well. Sorry.
Selena Gomez. Okay. Well, I had a lot of people tell me that I have like a really interesting speaking voice. I should try going into narration or something. Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know what I even sound like. I hear myself and like shut off. I'm like, goodbye. I don't want to hear myself. That's weird.
I still do that. I know what you mean. Yeah, can you watch porn of yourself? Is it weird? Have you ever masturbated, like watching a video of yourself?
It's really weird, but like I have a friend and we porn together, and he watches it as he edits, and then he tells me about it, and I'm like, I can't even watch myself. Goodbye.
Gotcha.
I think it's really sweet. I do get offers from people. I'll get you your citizenship. I'll marry you. I get a lot of offers, but I think people think it's a lot easier than it actually is. Mm-hmm. And it's also because I have morals. I don't know. I would never do. I feel...
Oh, like marrying to get citizenship is something that you would consider morally reprehensible?
Yeah.
Sure.
I just couldn't do it. I've seen like other people do it though. Mm-hmm. Oh, I get asked that all the time.
What?
When you're in the porn industry, a lot of people ask you black guys.
Ask you what?
If you fuck black guys.
Oh, was there like a hardcore stigma against doing it, or?
There's some racism in the industry.
Gotcha.
So some girls won't ever fuck black guys, or some companies will pay you more if you do.
Sure. This is going to sound kind of strange. I'm half Cuban, but I'm very fucking white. I wouldn't ever consider myself having like a Hispanic experience in the US or whatever. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like, do you deal with like colored people issues, or do you feel like not as much, or?
I do feel like I do.
Gotcha.
Racism. But it's okay.
Have you ever felt like kind of like pressure to do the I know that like for a lot of the like the black actresses and whatnot, like to like hardcore whitewash their like appearance, like to do like the really straightened hair and everything to look as appealing to like white taste as possible? Is that ever a thing that you deal with, or? They
kind of do it for you.
Gotcha.
The makeup. You know, when you do the photograph, they really lighten everything. Mm-hmm. La 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 la.
Is everything? Oh, but I guess the videos wouldn't necessarily be lightened, right?
Yes and no. It depends on how they do the lighting, because some have like really good lighting and they can like whitewash the whole entire scene.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, some black girls do feel the need to straighten their hair. There's a girl in my agency who is black and I'm Hispanic, and I had like the really curly hair and she had very straight hair, and they basically advertised her as Latina, and then I was advertised as the black girl, and I'm like, I was so pissed because I was going into the industry to represent Latinas, and then she was being advertised as Latina, and I'm like, why? Why is this happening?
Do you get for your stuff, do you get advertised as like black a lot, or Hispanic, or?
When I first started, yeah.
Gotcha.
Like someone like took down my Snapchat of me just dancing, and it was advertised as like black girl twerks. There's nothing wrong with being black. I'm just saying that I went into the industry to represent Latinas because that's what I am, and I'm being sold as something that I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
People from I'm really bad with geography and shit. Okay, I know all about the Middle East and that's it. People from Honduras are pretty dark though, right? In terms of like compared to say like Mexicans or people from like Central America. Or...
Yeah, Central Americans are known to be a lot. There's all types of races that live there.
Mm-hmm. Oh fuck, Honduras is in Central America. Never mind. Forgot I said anything.
Yes, it is.
Just
so we have Asians there, we have white people there, brown, and then we have black people there.
Gotcha.
You Mexicans are the fucking racist. Reading the comments. She kind of looks black though. Yeah, I get that a lot. I guess you, I mean, race is such a weird construct. Obviously, I have some Indian and black in me. I'm not going to deny that, but I'm just saying I'm Honduran and Hispanic. Do I do cluck porn? I did do how do you pronounce that? Cuck?
Cuckolding?
Yeah, I did one, yeah.
Like a hardcore one or just like an exhibitionist one?
Just a regular cuckold one. But I don't know, my agent does to me. So
your agent doesn't what?
Reveal a lot of information to me, so he doesn't tell me, like, a lot of times he won't tell me what agency it is or who I'm fucking or...
Wait, before you go in? Doesn't that make you nervous?
I mean, the way me and my agent worked it out, I'm just like, dude, I'll do anything. I just don't care. I guess I'm just that kind of person, so for me it didn't really matter.
Gotcha.
Anything else I can answer?
I'm kind of waiting for Chad to ask something interesting. I'm not sure.
How do you get in the industry?
Someone's asking how long you plan to stay in the industry. You said you signed a 3-year contract.
Yeah, but I do consider it like a career.
Somebody linked to the cuck vid.
Oh my gosh, no. I didn't like
really
that
awkward
video.
If I like watch a video of you while I'm talking to you? You didn't like
you
it?
can, but it was just, yeah, that was like when I first entered for like a week and a half, and then I stopped and I focused more on my Patreon and more on just creating the online content I wanted to.
Gotcha.
And then I went back in.
Oh, so you got the guy standing here and everything. Damn. Was this awkward at all, or is it whatever? Or...
No, they were really great people to work with. It was awesome. I haven't done a pegging video.
Wait, is it? I thought pegging was only guys. Is it? Do they call it pegging if it's a girl?
I have no idea.
Okay. Do you have to do your own makeup, or do they have like people on set that do it all for you, or?
Depends on the company. So some companies can't afford it, so they'll ask you to bring your own makeup, to do your own makeup before you come in.
Gotcha.
And then some companies will be like, makeup and hair is provided. Ask her if she's become more or less feminist after becoming a sex worker and what views, if any, changed. I mean, I was very pro-sex work forever. And then for 1 year, I had like a very negative viewpoint toward it. And then I went back. So I guess I haven't really changed all that much.
Ask about Latina porn to MILFs to mature as she gets older.
What was that?
I think he's asking if you want to be doing MILF porn when you get older.
I mean, it's just the way it's marketed, so I don't really see the issue with it. And besides, I'm told by everybody MILFs are like amazing. you know.
Sure.
Well, aren't they? They know what they're doing.
Maybe. Do you ever find that that's weird that a lot of guys, when they talk about sex, seem to like have this weird fascination with like virgins and whatnot, or like women with low experience? Do you ever hear that, or are you familiar with this at all?
Yeah, a lot of guys like they want someone who's like not really experienced, but they want you to be like really amazing in bed.
Yeah.
And you really can't get that way unless you are experienced.
Have a lot of experience, yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird. I don't know. Guys are weird. Those guys are weird anyway. I just kind of accept it, but I do feel bad for like my that. But
feel bad for
my
your
opinion,
what?
my that have to grow up with that.
Oh. What
yeah.
What do you
double standard?
Wow, what's your favorite kind of scene to do? Somebody was asking. Do you have like a preference?
Just a regular boy girl scene is good, but I want to do like I want to have sex with girls outside of video, because I feel like in the porn industry they kind of make you do weird things.
Gotcha. Like you wouldn't do scissoring if you had the opportunity in real life. Was there anything else weird in that video, or was it just the scissor thing, or what?
It was a scissor thing, and then there was something else. I think they said like when you rub your inner thigh together or something. I don't know.
Here's the question. I noticed that they stopped doing this. I don't know if it was intentional or maybe I don't watch as much lesbian porn anymore. Does it ever make you nervous when you see like the chicks with the really fucking huge fingernails about to dig into a chick?
Oh man, I mean, it could be for guys too. Like some guys have really fucked up fingernails, but yeah, it can be nervous. You just have to know how to put it in.
Yeah, but that's holy shit, dude. I don't know, man. This looks like some Freddy Krueger tier shit. When some of those girls with the huge, long, fake fingernails like start finger banging a chick. Holy fuck, I don't know, dude. I'd be nervous, but I don't have a vagina, so I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I've heard a lot of horror stories from guys' side too.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah, like I had a friend who was like done with a scene, and he did like a blow bang scene. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically when a girl blows like a bunch of guys. Blow bang. And she was like really bad at it. Like she used teeth. And like all the guys after the scene just were in pain. Yeah, it was bad.
Nice.
I don't know. I'm really good at blowjobs, so it's not an issue I have. I haven't done a blow bang though yet.
Maybe that'll be your next thing, my dude.
Yeah.
Do you ever get to, when you say stuff like that, do you ever get to like request, like I want to do, like, do you ever tell your agent, like, I want to do like this type of scene, can you try to find this for me, or not really at all, or?
You can just tell them what you're open to. So if you weren't open to anal before, but you are now, you can tell them. But honestly, it's the summer season, and summer's like kind of a slow day for sex workers, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You should really be out there supporting them right now. Because a lot of people are like, you're not getting a lot of work right now. Like, yeah, it's the summer season. Everyone's going through the same thing, except maybe like a few. If she gets deported for some reason, would she try to come back? Does she think it'd be easier to go? Well, the thing is, what I have is unlawful presence. Even though I wasn't charged with anything, you're still not supposed to stay here if you don't have legal status. So if you're here for more than a year, you actually get a 10-year ban put upon you. Even if I wanted to, I would be banned for 10 years. Sad face.
Someone wants to know, how do you feel, someone wants to know if you will tie them up and rape them to death. Nice question, dude. Okay, how do you feel about Trump? Do you like the Trumpster? Are you pulling for the big Trump man?
Well, I obviously didn't like him.
Really? We're a big pro-Trump channel here. You're not in favor of the Trump man?
No.
The Donald?
Want to hear something funny, though? My agent is a Trump supporter.
That's pretty awkward.
Not really. He's very, he believes that, immigrants should get a chance. Just because you're pro-Trump doesn't mean you're for his immigration policy. But if you are a Trump supporter, I would hope that, and you're against any of his policies, that you would fight back. Just saying. Why is Pornhub spamming step-sibling incest videos? Yeah, a lot of producers don't like that, but that's what's been making money. So if you guys stop clicking on those links and stop giving them money, they will stop making them and do something else. They don't like making them either, by the way.
Why?
The incest porn, they think it's creepy.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
But none of the other fetish stuff is creepy?
Don't judge us. You guys are buying them. Tell her to learn Spanish. I'm gonna learn. I'll relearn it eventually. Why is summer slow for sex workers? I don't know. I think it's because a lot of people are blowing money on family vacations and stuff.
What, is there still a lot of money in paid sex stuff, or is it mostly advertising, like subscription models? Are those still viable, or?
What do you mean?
So like the way that I consume, or I guess I imagine a lot of people consume porn these days is through like the Pornhubs and whatever other million sites, RedTube and all that. Is there still a lot of money to be made in selling like pornographic like subscription sites, or no?
Well, it has to be, because that's the way the porn industry exists.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't know if it was mainly like advertising or something.
But it has gotten smaller, so it's more of a tight-knit community now. Whew, that's why it's hard to break in. But anyway, I'm gonna go. It's okay. We've been talking a while anyway.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks for the conversation, buddy. I appreciate it. It was interesting.
Yeah, if you ever want to talk again, let me know.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks for
Maybe it could be more organized.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if you've got like a specific thing you want to bring up, or like a specific issue or whatever, feel free to let me know.
I'm sorry. I didn't have anything. I guess maybe I could try like bringing up some of Sargon or Lauren's points once I get through those videos.
There's nothing of value in any of those videos. Trust me. There's absolutely nothing of value. These people look at you as like less than human. You're not going to find any good arguments in there. It's basically keep illegals out because they take our jobs and because most of them are criminals that are just trying to rape and murder us anyway. Like, Lauren Southern put out a video recently where she wanted to make a video about how Paris is being destroyed, and it's literally just her walking through one of the ghettos for 7 minutes, and you just see a lot of brown people, and that's the entire video. And then she puts like edgy music, and she's like, look at how Paris is changing forever. Like, yeah, there's not much. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I really would like to have some hope.
Yeah. I don't anymore. I talk about these issues too much, so, but.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Maybe you need young people to be like, I have hope.
Yeah, I have young people now. They're called the alt-right, my dude.
Okay, I'll talk to you guys.
Thanks a lot for the convo, buddy. Have fun.
Mwah. Is it gone? I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. Oh, I'm still streaming. I always stream, okay? So, do you want me to,
Am I...
I was going to get in my car.
I'm gonna drag you down to the AFK room, buddy, okay?